Warning. The following podcast is utter nonsense and may cause agoraphobia, kleptomania, insomnia, and oppositional defiance disorder. We are required by law to provide you with this disclaimer for hazardous materials.
And welcome to Hazardous Materials, last week's comics this week. My name is Casey Johnson. With me as always as
Gideon Gonzalez.
As is, whatever, that doesn't really matter. All right. First up, what do we got here?
We've got a Harleen #1.
A Black Label book.
Yeah, written and drawn by Stjepan Sejic, one of my favorite writer artists of the last few years.
This book was beautiful.
Oh my God, it's gorgeous.
This book was beautiful and big.
Yeah, it is a massive, 62 page?
62, 64. I tend to read all the stuff that we do on the show on digital just to kind of consume it. And when you do it, you don't have the sense of size of the book.
Oh, and it's magazine cuts and it's hardbound.
So I'm going through
hardbound,
and I'm getting to page number 32, which is where usually stuff wraps up. Mm-hmm. I'm like, this thing just keeps going. And keeps going. I'm like, crap. Okay, I'm gonna lose some time. I'm gonna be late to the shot for this one.
even the individual issues are broken up into segments.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so good. But
it's so beautifully put together.
And even it could stand alone just on the base of its art, but it's written phenomenally well too. Harley is treated as a person, which is not something that happens very often in Harley Quinn comics.
And you said earlier before the show starts, this kind of breaks your Harley Quinn fatigue.
Yeah, Harley Quinn is a character I've been sick of for probably going on 5 years now. But this book, I was like, oh yeah, Harley's really good. Harley's kind of great, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's all really about her professional career, even before hitting Arkham.
Yeah, the Joker's in maybe 10, 15 pages of it. Oh my God, there's so much I would love to just dive into it, but we do have other books to talk about. I will say my favorite scene in the book is probably her meeting Harvey Dent.
Yeah, I got a quick buzz of that. Of course, I was trying to speed read this as quickly as possible, and it just wasn't happening because I got to page 50 and I realized I had 15 more pages to go.
One of the little things they throw in for Harley's origin is that her research at Arkham is funded by the Wayne Foundation. Lucius Fox actually recruits her from her former job and gets her at Arkham because Bruce Wayne's interested in her criminal psychology research.
I did enjoy her first face-to-face with Joker.
Yes, that was a really good scene.
Yes, it was a really good scene because she almost got blasted.
Yeah.
And then it's you blink and you miss it. He's already gone. It's I really love the smell of a new gun. I guess you use that as an excuse not to shoot her or something like that.
His excuse that he gives to the goon is she had a look in her eye that she's going to see me every night in her dreams for the rest of her life.
Damn, Joker's on the ball.
Sejic writes Joker amazingly well. My favorite bit being when Batman causes their truck to crash and he's berating the driver who is through the windshield saying, I understand the guys hanging on to the back of the truck dying, but you're the driver. Wear your seatbelt.
Just because we're criminals doesn't make us bad criminals.
And the guy's last words are, I'm sorry, boss. It won't happen again.
You're right. It won't. Yeah, and that's the end of him. And then he promoted Bob.
Yes.
He's got a Bob the Goon now.
My #1 guy.
Oh my God, that's great! I'm glad that they a little bit of throwback to the 80s Batman. I want to continue following this. I want to bring this up every time it comes out.
I was going to trade weight on it, but I think this first issue just sold me on following it month to month.
Yeah, absolutely. If this is the quality of stuff that we're getting out of DC's Black Label, I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with Birds of Prey.
Yeah, after kind of a mixed bag with Batman Damned and Superman Year One.
Yeah, this seems like a jump in quality. I mean, I tried to get to Batman Damned.
Have you seen the Wonder Woman projects that are lined up for?
No.
So there's Kelly Sue DeConnick and Phil Jimenez, who is probably my all-time favorite Wonder Woman artist.
Yeah, I can go with that. That's very old school.
Yeah,
that's
very
old school.
early 2000s. That was when I was started reading Wonder Woman, and they're working on, I think it's called Amazon Historia, where it's going back and looking at the origins of the Amazons. Phil Jimenez finally posted his first artwork from it. It's just absolutely gorgeous.
I wonder if we could get a shot of that.
I'll try to hook Rob with it. later.
Yeah. So right now while I'm talking, it'd be really great. Hey, take a look at this great image.
And then the other one that just got announced, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, is Daniel Warren Johnson, who just did Murder Falcon, one of my favorite recent Image books.
What a great name.
It's the most metal book I've ever read, but also the most shockingly touching. Like,
really?
It's a really beautiful look at how like heavy metal makes people makes you feel and you connect with it.
I've connected with heavy metal.
Really great book. But anyways, he's doing a Wonder Woman kind of post-apocalyptic story where she wakes up and pretty much human society is gone, and it's a story that you see all the time with Batman and Superman.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see what he does with Wonder Woman in that role.
Who's effectively immortal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really surprised that DC doesn't harp on that more.
I know. I'm really excited for these Black Label titles just because it's refreshing to see like cool, interesting takes on Wonder Woman. Because I feel like it's very easy for writers to fall into the same basic patterns of trying to recreate the Perez run, which I understand. It's one of the best modern comic book runs. But yeah, I like seeing experimentation with Wonder Woman, who's a character I don't think gets that like same diversity of titles that Superman and Batman do.
I next one up here is, I'm sure, a title that everybody's been waiting for us to talk about.
Oh, yes.
Scooby-Doo Team Up number 50. Yeah.
It is, in real life, a celebration of 50 years of Scooby-Doo and a celebration of 50 issues of Scooby-Doo Team Up. And in universe,
I didn't even know Scooby-Doo had a Team Up book.
It's so good. Oh, my God. I didn't jump onto it until pretty late into the run because they started kind of going like, all right, we've done a Flash team up. We've done a Batman team up. They're doing stuff like Doom Patrol team up with Flex Mentallo.
Oh, wow. That's an odd thing.
An Angel and the Ape team up because they are also mystery solvers who have a talking animal. Metamorpho, Challengers of the Unknown, Black Lightning, Mr. Miracle, and Big Barda.
They're really going for an audience that's older than me.
I was going to say it's an audience of one, and it's Gideon Gonzalez.
Oh, my God. You're probably like the only person in your age group that's super excited about Flex Mentallo and Metamorpho crossovers.
Anything with Metamorpho I'll buy, as proven by the fact that I buy Terrifics every month. Yeah. Great book. But I mean, Metamorpho's in it. I
did follow Metamorpho way back when Batman the Outsiders was out.
He's one of my favorite characters.
And he was kind of cool in Justice League.
Yes.
I enjoyed him in that.
I wish that an adaptation of him would make him as fun and goofy as he is in the original Silver Age stuff. Because I get wanting to make him a more serious character, which does work because he is, in essence, DC's Ben Grimm.
He does feel like the over testosterone hero that you would find in 60s boy comics.
His name
like
is Rex Mason.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you can't get more cooler than that, except for like put him on a cover. He's like, oh, all these crabs are attacking me. You know, the old Boy's Life stories. It feels like he's straight out of the whole Boy's Life thing.
But we've gotten way off topic of Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, let's get back to the Scooby-Doo because that's important. It's staring me in the face.
So this issue has Batmite team up with Scooby-Mite, who had appeared previously.
Okay, so that's not Scrappy-Doo I saw on the cover.
That is Scooby-Mite.
Yeah.
Who, like how Batmite is a fifth dimensional imp who's a huge fan of Batman, Scooby-Mite is a huge fan of Scooby-Doo.
I wonder if it's clear to our listeners by now that I've not read this at all. I had so much as cracked this book.
So what winds up happening to celebrate this anniversary of their team up, Scooby-Mite Batmite summons a whole multiversal range of Batman, including the Red Rain Batman and Gotham by Gaslight Batman.
That is unexpected.
And then Scooby-Mite, in response, summons every iteration of Mystery Inc., like including the 13 Ghosts team, where it's got Shaggy in the red shirt.
Okay.
You've got a pup named Scooby-Doo.
I was about to ask you about that.
The live action ones. So Sarah Michelle Gellar, Matthew Lillard, who else was in there? The Mystery Inc. cartoon from 2011, which is my personal favorite Scooby-Doo iteration.
Okay.
But yeah, the whole gamut. They even got Shaggy and Scooby-Doo Get a Clue, which only lasted like a year.
I remember when I used to watch cartoons on the USA Network, because they had Scooby-Doo like for crazy, and they would play the Scooby-Doo movies.
Oh, yes.
Which were basically their crossovers.
Which they're doing a new version of that now.
Is that?
I haven't gotten to check it out yet, but I'm pretty excited to.
I mean, they had things like Phyllis Diller as teaming up with Scooby-Doo. It's like, Okay. And of course, they had Batman. So that's as soon as I heard about this, I felt like, okay, this is the comic version of the Scooby-Doo movies. I don't know why they called them Scooby-Doo movies. They're still 22 minutes long, but still,
They had celebrities.
They had celebrities.
Don Knotts and like 5 of them.
They did have the Knotts. They had Knotts. All right. So up next, we got Shazam number 7.
Long awaited. It's been 3 months since Shazam number 6, I think.
Is it?
It's been a hot minute.
I gotta say, I don't really follow Shazam. When I read this, I was like, wow, this art's really pretty. Art's really pretty. Art turned to garbage.
I wouldn't call Scott Kolins garbage.
I would, but I know you have a different opinion.
Scott Kolins is my Flash artist as a kid, so I'm always gonna love him.
Yeah, he did the Zoom issues. That's where I recognize him from.
Yes.
Okay. And he came up with the idea of Zoom having those pinpoint eyes in his mask.
My favorite thing he always did was the delayed images that Zoom would always have like around him. Mm-hmm. It's such a good visual clue.
I have a hero clicks of that effect.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, where Zoom's doing this bit and it's like a piece of translucent plastic is all the other different frames of him doing his punch.
It was so good.
And I still can't wait to get the hero clicks episode up and running. I got my buddy Steven is agreeing to come in and to help us do that. And I'm really excited to do that because I love me some hero clicks. But Shazam.
Yeah, another Geoff Johns joint that's been hit by many delays. Mm-hmm. But it's still, I kind of jumped out of it around like issue 3, but I jumped back in with this issue just to like, oh, hey, it's been gone for 3 months. See how it is. Really good.
It feels like the movie.
It does. The movie is mostly based on Geoff Johns' New 52 Shazam arc, but fixing a lot of the tonal problems that I had with it, making it a bit more fun instead of dour and serious.
My favorite part of this was the reaction shot of the parents.
Yes. Oh my God.
It just the dad seemed super excited.
Yeah. I really like how the tone of the movie seems to have affected the tone of the book, which is not something I normally say.
Yeah.
But Shazam is one of those many recent properties that I feel like the movie did it better than the book it was based on. So I kind of like seeing the book taking cues from that.
It feels like DC Shazam runs a parallel with Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a property you didn't see coming. Mm-hmm. And when it did, it was a quality piece.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because I expected Shazam to suck. And I watched it and I was like, this is some of the best. This is probably the best DC movie I saw all year.
It might be my favorite superhero movie this year. I mean, besides Hobbs and Shaw, the real
superhero movie. I feel like we should address Hobbs and Shaw one of these days, but I mean, it's already come and gone.
I'm
still upset that they haven't addressed the fact that Jason Statham's character killed Han. I'm really upset by this.
I'm just saying, Iron Man didn't pull a helicopter with a car, so.
Apparently, I still need to watch this movie.
Oh my God, it's so good. That was actually the first Fast and Furious movie that I've seen since Tokyo Drift.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw the trailers and I was like, Idris Elba's in it. I'm seeing it.
I gotta say that the Fast and Furious movies from 4 to 8, 9 are not bad.
Yeah, I want to see this like gradual descent into madness because
that's exactly what it is.
Oh my God.
It's like so good. I mean, when we're talking about jumping cars from one skyscraper to another above the 50th floor.
Yeah.
Successfully.
I went from smuggling VCRs to.
Yeah. We're just doing some light gas stealing in part 4 to saving the world in part 9.
Yeah. There's like. Idris Elba's a supervillain in it. He's a cyborg. Yeah. And has superpowers. It's amazing.
Cyborg Superman.
Yes, he is. But we're back on topic. Shazam number 7, playing on they've been developing a mythology for Shazam where it reminds me a lot of the Lantern Corps, where they're taking the different aspects that go into each letter and kind of making it its own power source, making all the kids like be attuned to one of them.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And they're developing these magical realms, one of which is very clearly a Alice in Wonderland riff.
Saw that.
They're completely on it. It's not like they're trying to be subtle about it.
I'm a fan of Alice in Wonderland. Go figure.
But my favorite part of this book, well, there's 2 things. The last page, which we're going to get to.
Right.
But Taki Tani is my favorite part of the Shazam mythos.
And they really went out of their way to get him in this.
It was great. I loved him dashing into the tailor to grab a tweed jacket and some pants and a tie. I first was like, I don't know if I like this grim Tawny about to eat some kids, but then he like saved the kids and he's rushing out on like his hind legs and stealing a suit and diving into pits. It was very cartoony.
Tell us a little bit about the origins of Taki Tawny in this universe now. What is he? He's
part of the Wildlands, which is a magical realm inhabited by talking animals, a pretty classic part of Shazam mythos.
Little Oz.
Exactly. You've got talking alligator men, which traditionally ally themselves with the monstrous side of evil. You got a goose. There's at least one goose in this issue.
Goose is the meanest animal in the world.
An owl lawyer.
Of course.
And so Freddie and Darla, a couple of Billy's adopted siblings, have been found in the Wildlands, and being human is essentially a crime there. So they're going to dump them into the tiger pits. The tigers, who apparently their punishment for their involvement in the animal war, which we don't get a ton of detail on.
No, you don't.
But is to be the executioners, and they don't get to wear clothes. They're just naked in the pit,
tiger men,
which is weird when everyone else is clothed.
Yeah, it's jarring. I saw that, and I didn't know how to feel about that.
Yeah, I was like,
it's like furry mania.
I've got a lot of questions for Dale Eaglesham. No shame, but just some questions. But yeah, seeing a buff tiger butt. I think buff tiger butt is the word of the day. But my man Tawny, he's a good guy. Doesn't want to eat no kids. So he scoops those kids up and he goes and scoots his way out to his local tailor to get himself a well-tailored 3-piece suit. And he takes them to the Darklands where Billy's going to meet up with the other kids. But on the last page, Billy's entrance to the Darklands is he's digging himself out of his own grave. And the grave next to him says, "Here lies Captain Marvel."
That's ballsy.
And the next issue says, "Billy Batson meets Captain Marvel." So I'm very curious what they're doing. I wonder if it has something to do with...
That's out of nowhere.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, they can do that? I mean, I know they can do that, but I thought a big point of rebranding him Shazam was so they could just have a sidestep.
Things a lot easier and keep it away from the whole Captain Marvel thing.
I'm fascinated by what they're going to do with this. I'm back in on the book. I bounced out, but this got me back in.
I mean, it would be incredibly freakish if Carol Danvers was somehow involved in this story. I don't know how I could deal with that.
I'll take just a silhouette of a woman with short hair.
Yeah, if we're dealing with another buried alien, I'm on board.
Jeffrey Johns at it again.
We got to do Transformers Galaxy, and then we're going to take a little break. I did not get a chance to read this.
So it's by
I'm sad.
It is. So Galaxies is the spinoff from the main Transformers book for their new reboot universe.
This falls in line with the G.I. Joe thing that they did last week.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Galaxies is the anthology book where it's giving backstories for a lot of major characters. And this first arc is a group of some of my favorite Transformers, the Constructicons.
I love the Constructicons.
So they've got Livio Ramondelli on art, who is one of my favorite Transformers artists of all time. They do just amazingly
even
gorgeous.
Better than the Dreamwave stuff.
Oh my! So much better than Dull Surprise.
Oh wow!
There's just gorgeous moodiness and the way they use lighting. Everything looks like has this beautiful metallic sheen to it. Really, really gorgeous stuff.
Would you say it's a departure from what seemed like the kind of like bland art style of the G.I. Joe reboot?
Yeah, it's
like I found it a little lacking.
There's extremely expressive Transformers, which I very much appreciate.
Do we have Skywarp pulling off a G.I. Joe thing again?
Not yet. We can only hope.
I was really baffled by that when you told me that Skywarp had actually joined the G.I. Joe team.
Skywarp's a Joe. Or it was a Joe in the prior universe.
Yeah, and then I saw that the frame of him standing with the Joe team, warning their enemies, I scrape you off my foot. Like, I love you, Skywarp. Skywarp was actually my favorite of the Decepticons, even though he really didn't get that much personality.
He's got a great color scheme, and he can teleport.
Exactly.
All you really need.
And you don't even see that in the cartoon that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is my third favorite of the Seekers. That's just because Starscream is my favorite Transformer, period.
Do you like Thundercracker, that thug?
So Thundercracker in the IDW verse, he is a refugee on Earth after the Cybertronian War. He basically lives on a government compound, just like gets to go out and fly around.
Okay.
He's an aspiring screenwriter, but he's a terrible screenwriter.
It seems like somebody got a hold of the three Seekers and actually did something with them.
And yeah, they all have they're such distinct characters in the IW-verse. But the best thing about Thundercracker is he has a dog.
He has a dog.
The government gives him a pet dog.
Because when we dealt with the original three, Starscream was the self-destructive, highly ambitious one.
Mm-hmm.
Thundercracker was the brainless thug.
Yeah.
And Skywarp was Skywarp. I teleport occasionally and I back up and I don't say much.
He looks cool. Buy the toy.
Yeah, he's the black and purple one, but he doesn't talk that much. All the talking is done by Starscream and unfortunately Thundercracker. And so I figured that's what we're going to be stuck with. But now we got Skywarp, the G.I. Joe guy,
mm-hmm.
and Thundercracker, who with a dog.
Yes. A lady dog named Buster. And she rides in his cockpit and it's super cute.
That's cute.
But yeah.
We have to have an image of that. Oh, man, Rob, find us an image of Thundercracker with a dog. Okay, if it's playing right now, I'm very happy.
They actually did there is a piece done by one of the Transformers artists where it's all of the IDW Hasbroverse women characters and
mm-hmm.
Buster's included in it. It was very cute.
That's great.
But back to Galaxies. It's a Constructicon origin
mm-hmm.
where they are freshly forged to help clean up Cybertron. And they stumble upon the Enigma of Combination, which some of the robots in power on Cybertron want to use to their advantage. And that's kind of where we leave off on the first issue is we've got a couple of different parties who are interested in controlling these guys who basically just want to clean up and rebuild and using them for their own devices.
I loved my Devastator as a child, even though he was basically this cat thing that kind of hunked over. And as an adult, I've been questing for the perfect Devastator set because there's tons of them. I would give out my recommendation to the Combiner Wars Devastator. Yeah. That's the one I have, and it's one of my favorite toys I own. And they're beautiful figures, and I have to have it. As an adult, I want to play with my Constructicons.
I had it, one of my bookshelves for toys, half of the space of it was fully taken up by my Devastator for a while.
Oh, God.
I have to find a new home for it because I've moved, but we'll see. We'll see where he goes.
I'm going to steal your Devastator.
But yeah, as someone who didn't really much care for the new Transformers reboot, I loved Galaxies, and I'm excited to see more of these kind of smaller stories in the universe.
Well, I hope it's better than the G.I. Joe, and I hope Transformers, by its proximity in the same universe, makes G.I. Joe better because, wow, G.I. Joe just kind of stumbled on its intro.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, Cobra's taking over the world, and we're going to kill Duke in the first issue. And now the whole title's focused around this civilian. I'm not liking this.
As long as my boy Chuckles makes it, we're all good.
Well, there's no Snake Eyes. There's no Snake Eyes.
But Chuckles wears a Hawaiian shirt.
And that's
automatically the best Joe.
What was Chuckles? He was the covert operative? Yes.
There's a really, really good IDW Joe series from the last. I'm going to keep talking about that prior Hasbro version, how good it was. But where it's about Chuckles infiltrating Cobra. It's really surprisingly dark. Really great stuff.
Oh, God. Well, we got to take a break right now. When we get back, we're going to take a look at the New Mutants War Children #1. I've definitely got some things to say about that. See you in just a moment.
Welcome to episode 7 of Hazardous Materials, last week's comics this week. This is Brooke with Haphazard Fiction Studios and want to thank everybody for tuning in this week. We know there are a lot of comics that come out every week and we don't have a chance to discuss every single one of the new releases that come out on our podcast. But if there are issues that you're looking for that we don't get to cover, please do us a favor and let us know in the comments. Also wanted to remind everybody that if you would like to see and help us grow this podcast, we definitely would love your support as becoming a patron. As a patron, you get potential Be Real episodes. You'll get lost episodes like we talked about last week. But you're also going to be able to get exclusive podcast content that nobody else will get to hear. Some of which will be coming from the House of Morpheus game, which is out now, and some of which may be from The Lodge, which will be a more of a short-run game that ties into that line. Yeah, but if you'd like to join us, just go over to haphazardfiction.com and click on the link on our website. Or you can go to patreon.com and just search Haphazard Fiction, and you'll find us that way. For as little as $3 a month, you can help us really try to improve the quality of the podcasts we have coming out every week. But But yeah, thanks again for tuning in, and we take you back to Hazardous Materials with Casey and Gideon.
And we're back. We're talking about New Mutants War Children #1. And this is where the part of the show where we turn into point counterpoint.
This is definitely going to be point counterpoint. You want to go first on this one?
I loved it. It's Chris Claremont and Bill Sienkiewicz reuniting on New Mutants, one of my favorite creative teams of all time. Love just getting page after page of Sienkiewicz's amazing, gorgeous art style. And this is his first interior work in like 10, 15 years, I think.
Probably, yeah.
Like it's been a minute since I've seen a book by him. And it's so good. It perfectly captured the feeling of their New Mutants issues and just gives you a little bit more of a taste of it and goes away before it's overstays its welcome.
This book was a train wreck. I couldn't fucking... This book was a train wreck. I couldn't stand this thing. It seemed like it had no real narrative. It was the whole book was just about Warlock and attacking the New Mutants. And Chris Claremont's writing this. I'm expecting some gold level stuff. And I don't really like Sienkiewicz's art. I didn't like it when he got introduced to New Mutants way back in the issue 18 with the Demon Bear thing. Even though the Demon Bear is usually lauded as an important storyline in it. I didn't care for the shift. You go from clean Bob McLeod. Sienkiewicz it's jarring. As a child.
Impressionism, yeah.
Yeah, and I at one point during that run, right around the time when they introduced Rain/Wolfbane's story field fairy tale, that's kind of was like, okay, well, this is obviously going to be the norm of the comic. I'm going to enjoy it from here on in. I tried to hold on to that while I was reading this, and it just felt like the narrative could not convey a story properly to me.
I mean, it made sense to me. Like, you've got Warlock being infected by the Dark Child, attacking them, and then Dark Child takes over magic. Cypher reconnects with Warlock. They're saved. And you gotta admit, that page of Danny Moonstar with Hela in the background on her horse is just gorgeous.
Some things worked. Most things didn't. This book was, for some reason, this book thought that I would immediately know who the villain is. And it kept talking to me like, okay, you obviously know who this is. I have no clue who the villain of this book is until the very last page.
You do get a full page reveal of who the villain is.
Yeah, I mean, I had to have it spelled out for me because Chris Claremont either trusted his artist too much to be able to convey the message and didn't write it out, or Sienkiewicz just kind of dropped the ball. I'm angry at this book. I'm actively angry at this book because I love New Mutants, and this is an opportunity. This is a one shot.
Yeah.
This is not a series. This is a one shot. This is an opportunity for them to bring the classic group together and do something really cool. And it just felt like a B story, easily forgettable, and I'm struggling to read it.
I will say on that point, these are meant to be kind of like easily slotted into the classic runs, because like Avengers from this week, the Loki, I think it's Loki Unbound is what it's called.
Yeah, I can understand. So you don't want to do something that's too heavily consequential because you've got to keep the continuity.
Exactly.
I get that. I do get that. But this book was just sloppy.
I will agree to disagree with you on that point.
And I appreciate it because I know where you're coming from and I respect your opinion.
Exactly. Let us know, please. What were your thoughts on New Mutants War Children? Because we got some hot takes.
Yeah, did you agree with me that it was garbage? Or did you agree with Gideon that it was a masterpiece?
There's no middle ground on this one. Just like that original New Mutants run.
Hot garbage.
A masterpiece, unappreciated in its time.
Unappreciated masterpiece. Okay, so next up we got Amazing Spider-Man 30.
Casey, there's going to be carnage.
I know. And Spider-Man's title has managed to avoid the whole carnage thing. But unfortunately, the whole carnage stuff is kind of caught up with it. And you're left in the beginning of this book is a lot of exposition. Clearly, Spider-Man's been involved in this whole carnage thing, but just hasn't been in his book until right now.
Yeah. So you get like 2 or 3 pages of just him explaining stuff about codexes, what's been going on in Venom's book, who these kids are.
Yeah. And here's Venom. Here's his spawn. Now here's his other spawn. And now everybody's been touched. And I didn't even really know what the Carnage story was about until this book explained it. That Carnage is apparently a godlike entity now.
He's the Grendel, yeah.
And he's seeking out anybody that's ever been touched by the symbiotes.
I'll say this about Absolute Carnage. It's made me realize that way too many damn people have had symbiotes.
Everybody's had it. I mean, I'm surprised that Rocket Raccoon's not in this book.
Oh, he's too busy being out in space.
But he's been touched.
It's true. All the Guardians have been.
You know what? I will say...
You know, Donny Cates is writing Guardians right now. It is very shocking that they do not have a Absolute Carnage tie-in.
This event will have a redeeming factor for me if it brings back Flash Thompson.
Yeah, that's really what my fingers crossing are at this point because
he was heavily featured in this book.
He's the best Venom.
He is the best Venom.
Objectively, he's the best Venom.
Fist bump on best Venom.
Agent Venom was such a good series.
I loved Agent Venom.
It managed to survive having its initial writer leave and still be great.
Yeah.
Like Colin Bunn's back half of that book is phenomenal.
They even brought in a whimsy sidekick. And I was still on board.
Mania is great. Yeah. And I'm a little not sure how I feel about the way they're handling her in Absolute Carnage. I think they're setting her up to be the new Scream, but I'm not totally caught up on Scream.
I thought that too, because they did snatch away her symbiote.
Yeah, which I'm still pissed about.
Yeah.
I'm never not going to be angry about Maniac. That was...
So who's got the Maniac symbiote now?
Or
is it dead?
I think it might be dead. I'm not 100% sure, though.
I feel like it's gone to somebody else.
Or it's just Maniac part of the crowd. Took it, and then he got taken out in one arc and killed in the Free Comic Book Day issue leading into Absolute Carnage. Mm-hmm. So it might have been reabsorbed by Carnage or something.
Something that I hope comes back up.
Yeah, Maniac as a character made me mad enough that I tried to purge my mind of most of it.
It's like trauma.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
But at least Andy's back in some capacity in Absolute Carnage.
Yeah,
I'm glad. And Colin Bunn got to write that one shot with her. So I appreciated that.
Yeah, so the book not only brings back Flash Thompson, as far as I'm concerned, we're just going to be talking Flash Thompson.
Yeah, in a nice flashback story. Late 60s, early 70s, amazing.
And it kind of does a little bit of a retcon because it does bring him back as a soldier, but he's got the personality of old Flash Thompson. Yeah. So he's like sizing up Parker like, eh.
Well, I mean, it's supposed to be like 1969 era. So like coming back from Vietnam Flash. So I think the way they're making this jive is that Flash, which I think this is already canon, but I'm not 100% sure.
Wait a minute,
he did two tours.
Did Flash become a soldier in the 60s?
Yeah, he went to Vietnam.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's how they explained him away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I feel like a scrub.
Back in the 60s, he went to Vietnam. He comes back and little uncomfortable yellow panic storyline where some Vietnamese wizards follow him back and fights with Doctor Strange.
I remember this. I was I did a write-up for Flash Thompson Venom for a piece I did on my Facebook page, Comic Book Facts, and I remember reading that and like, ooh, wow, that's kind of sticky. And he's like, you got a wife over there or something like
Shashan,
that.
Who stuck around in the books for a while, but I don't think she's popped up recently.
And then they had like a quiet off-site or off-page divorce, and and then she was used as a prop for the Save Me scenario a couple of times, and then she was gone.
Yeah, I really like the way they used her in Spectacular Spider-Man. They did her pretty well on that cartoon, which is, for my money, the best version of Spider-Man, including the comics. It's because Spectacular Spider-Man didn't have to deal with one more day. Didn't have to deal with the Clone Saga.
He didn't. God, Clone Saga. It's a tragedy. It just keeps on feeding story.
Yeah. So
we get forward to the fact that Spider-Man brings up Flash again, saying, hey, Flash Thompson was killed off by Norman Osborn as the Red Goblin. Mm-hmm. And I'm really hoping that's foreshadowing.
Me too. I really hope we get him back.
I do too, because I enjoyed Agent Venom.
Yeah, moving back to the meat of the book.
Yeah, let's actually talk about the meat of the book, except this is the stuff that we care about.
I will say this. Ryan Ottley's back on the book after he's been gone for a good while now. Mm-hmm. And he was one of the big draws for the new series for me. And my God, his art suits Carnage perfectly.
Yeah, it does. Like, it's a little cleaner. It's what I prefer. And I still hate Carnage.
He has such a kinetic style that he flung a ton of blood around in Invincible. Mm-hmm. So he gets to kind of fudge his way around blood slinging in a Spider-Man book by having it just be Carnage bits.
Yeah, this Carnage feels a lot more like Mark Bagley's Carnage when he was first introduced.
Oh, very fluid.
A nice, clean look to him. And he doesn't just look like a blood clot with legs.
And they're building off of how the Red Goblin saga ended, which was the symbiote kind of fries Norman's brain and he believes himself to be Cletus Cassidy. Yeah,
I thought that was a little weird. I didn't really catch on to that story.
I'm assuming this arc's going to kind of clean that up.
It seems like it has to. I mean,
when your last page is Carnage standing over defeated Spider-Man with the symbiote like split down the middle to show Norman and his wild hair,
or could be Harry. You know, every time they showcase that face, it's either Norman or Harry, depending on how many lines you put on the face.
It is definitively Norman. He's got those. He's got them road miles on him.
What we've also dealing with on this is the ongoing mystery that is Kindred, which is the villain manipulating other villains. And he's got those centipedes all over him, which it's...
The name Human Centipede was already taken.
Yeah, you can't... you can never go back to that.
No. So he's Kindred.
So I have a theory.
Okay.
I told you this before. Yes. What my theory is, I thought that Kindred was Ned Leeds.
Which I can get behind that.
I can. Because there's obviously... The way he's talking to Norman is, you victimized us, me, I. He's doing a lot of ownership of the story as it pertains to Ned.
Yeah.
Like, what you did affected all these other people, me included. So I got to wonder if he's either like a real old school supporting character from like the high school years, or if he's somebody we haven't seen in a while who recently popped up.
Yeah.
Ned Leeds.
As a resurrected clone from falling out of a clone conspiracy.
Right.
Yeah. Which, I would be more happy with Kindred being revealed as Ned Leeds than I was with the Hobgoblin being revealed as Ned Leeds.
What a train wreck that was.
Yeah. Thank God they let Roger Stern come back and clean that up.
And now the original Hobgoblin is that much cooler.
Yeah. Roderick Kingsley is probably my third favorite Spider-Man villain after Venom and Kraven.
He's smart.
Yeah. He's great. I love the simple pitch of he is a fashion designer who recognizes the power of a brand and thus stole the Goblin brand.
I love the fact that when he got inverted, like back when Sabretooth got inverted, and he's basically a hero, he's doing heroic things, but he's still selling identities of defeated villains.
He bought the trademarks to a bunch of C and Z list heroes and villains and rents them out to people who want to be
like,
heroes.
Here's the third ringer. That was a great little miniseries.
God, it was so fun. I really want to print out the dust jacket from his self-help book and put it on a book on my shelf.
Oh, Rob, another little graphic for you if you can find us the Hobgoblin series #1 where he inverted and just shows you how slightly campy it really is. Remember, self-aware.
Remember, kids, make good habits a hobby.
God, that's a great series.
I just reread it last year, and one of my favorite parts was they're talking about all the good things he's done, and one of them was added safety rails to the top of the bridge.
That's awful.
So good.
I'm actually having to write this down. We definitely got to do this.
Roderick Kingsley is so good. Criminally underappreciated criminal.
All right, moving on. Avengers #24.
Vroom, vroom, it's Ghost Rider.
It's Ghost Rider time, and we're back on the hellscapes of the evil. I don't know if we can really call him evil. Or the slightly sinister Johnny Blaze versus Robbie Reyes.
But first, we got to deal with the, I don't know the nice way to put this, the insufferable cosmic Ghost Rider.
Oh my God. Just his very presence in this book. I felt like I was watching or reading a Sentry.
I abhor the term Mary Sue, but Cosmic Ghost Rider is, for people who don't know, Cosmic Ghost Rider is Frank Castle from the future, who became the Spirit of Vengeance, became the Herald of Galactus, and then was one of 3 beings left at the end of time alongside Thanos and the Hulk.
Oh, God. And insufferable is the correct way to go about this. He's coming in and he's just clowning everybody.
Yeah.
And everybody's coming up with good ideas to fight him, and he's just bouncing back from it.
And for whatever reason, Frank Castle became a smarmy quipster in all this time, because I remember reading in Thanos Wins, the justification is that, like, all all these years gone by have broken Castle's mind. Like, I feel like it's a pretty big character trait of Frank Castle being just unbreakable.
If he's talking about beating the crap out of you with his own skull.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand this character.
He's very frustrating, and he is very popular.
He is, and he's in this book a lot. And it just keeps going and going. And I'm reading this. I'm like, please just take him out. Shut him up. Move the story along. I don't care about this character.
I was pretty happy about Cosmic Ghost Rider being pretty well quarantined to Donny Cates books and his own spinoff stuff. Mm-hmm. Didn't like having to read them. Although I will say the scene where he gets a skull stuck on Mjolnir, She-Hulk slams him into the ground.
I couldn't read what you're saying.
The handle goes through his jaw and through his eye socket.
Yeah.
And so he can't talk. And then Thor summons Mjolnir and carries the skull with it. It was great.
And he came back from that.
Yeah.
Because apparently he's done this before.
Yeah, he is. And he will constantly remind you that he is a cosmic badass who has killed everyone, including Galactus.
He's like, I can't believe I'm having to do this again.
Oh, my God. It's so eye-rolly. And then he's like, I'm gonna join your Avengers. Although I did think it was funny when he realized the complete miscommunication that happened led to their fight. He's like, oh, okay. This is my bad, guys.
I will join your team of Avengers. And Captain America's like, we didn't invite you.
And I'll probably bring it up every time we talk about an issue in this arc, which is feeling like every issue of it because it's so good and has something worth raving about.
It feels to me like they brought this in to feed either fanboy wanted to be, God, what's the nicest way I can possibly put this? Fan service for a certain age group.
Mm-hmm.
Or they thought it was going to be funny or something along this line. And it just felt like, I don't want to get too cerebral and use a reference to the Ballad of the Ancient Mariner and the albatross thing. But it did feel like a burden on the book.
Yeah. Because, I mean, when you're doing a full Ghost Rider crossover, you got to deal with the Ghost Rider who has been selling a lot of comic books in the last 2 years.
Yeah, and I think that's what they're trying to do. And, that's a good segue to the fact that...
Can I say one more thing?
Yes, you may.
Probably my favorite part of this arc has been Blade's flesh gun. That's like, it's a living little demon pistol that breathes, and he shoots Ghost Rider with it, and it's great.
Stopped him.
I just love his bit where he's just like, I'm tired of all this cosmic hell mumbo jumbo. Blade just wants to kill vampires.
Yeah, Blade just wants to get back on the job, and this is just stopping everything. Blade is us in this book. Please move the narrative on.
He's just sick of Cosmic Ghost Rider.
We're done with you, Cosmic Ghost Rider. Go back to your crazy fantasy land with slapstick and madcap and just stay there.
But you had a big theory about this book.
I did have a big theory about this, and the fact of the matter is, I sincerely believe that this entire story arc is a way to get rid of Robbie Reyes.
And I'd be very upset if that's the case, because
it really feels like
Robbie.
It is. Because Robbie Reyes is going up against Johnny Blaze, and Johnny Blaze is the king of hell and all this other stuff. You've got an October-bound Ghost Rider book, which used to be called Beware of the Ghost Riders, now just flat out Ghost Rider. And it's using the graphic for the 90s Ghost Rider. And of course, good reason, because it's Danny Ketch. Now, if Marvel's going to be focusing on this as the Ghost Rider to go forward, and it's got Johnny Blaze already as a supporting character, Robbie Reyes is going to go.
I really hope not. I really hope they find a place for Robbie, because he's one of my favorite characters introduced in the past, 7-8 years. Well,
if you go back and read the issue towards the end, Robbie says in 2 separate frames, I don't want to be Ghost Rider. I will stop being Ghost Rider. That's pretty much saying, hey, get ready. Next issue, I'm checking out.
Well, and we can actually come back to this a bit when we talk about some movie and TV news later. But I feel like there might be a reason that Marvel's really pushing Johnny Blaze. Although, books and mass media don't normally have a ton of correlation there. But who knows? We'll see. We will get to that later on in the show.
Because this is a 2-parter.
Yes. And last up on our list, as always, is Powers of X.
And it's the last up on our list because this is a consistently knocking it out of the park book.
I got my Cyclops shirt on today.
Yes.
I'm ready to talk some X-Men.
I do not have, I just have my Fury Road shirt.
You do have a Phoenix button. So
I do have a Phoenix button. I was given a Phoenix button. Gideon gave me a Phoenix button. It's very tiny. You can't see it.
One of my coworkers has been
my microphone.
making them. I got a little signage of my devotion to the Lex Luthor fan club.
Is that the Lex Luthor running away with the pies?
It's not that exact frame,
sure looks
but
like
it
him.
is Super Friends Lex Luthor. So the two best Lexes, Super
Lexi.
Friends Lex and
Super Lex.
Super Lex.
I'm surprised you don't have like a Bizarro button.
I do have a Bizarro button.
Of course you do.
But yeah, Powers of X. As a huge Emma Frost fan, she is my third favorite mutant. I love that she got so much focus in this. I love that they actually called back to her becoming the Black King of the Hellfire Club. Her frustration at having to bring Sebastian Shaw back into the fold.
After just getting rid of him.
Hysterical. I loved excellent use of beat panels in a comic is the look that Charles and Eric give each other right before they ask her to bring back Sebastian. And then her disbelief at what they've just asked.
The face is I just got rid of him. It feels like this is the book that they're finally bringing Emma Frost back into X-Men proper after her manic departure.
They really were just dedicated to assassinating her character over the last few years.
Yeah. That's not the first time that this kind of thing has happened. And unfortunately, this does happen a lot with redemption heroes. You juggled the whole idea of, is this story about redemption of this particular character more compelling than just keeping them the one-note villain that they always are?
I'd say it's like you get the John Byrne method, which was, well, they were a villain when I was a kid, so they must still be evil.
I can't stand that. My favorite character is Sabretooth, and I prefer him as a hero. Yeah. I loved him as a hero, and I'm constantly running into people running, oh, he's great as a villain. He's great as a villain. He's been doing the same villain shtick for decades. When he shows up, granted, he's going to get into a fight with Wolverine. It's going to get bloody. It's going to end. Done. That's all he does now. I want some substance. And to get substance out of a villain, the redemption arc is the perfect way to do it. That's what they did with the Mystique limited series. It's what they did with Sabretooth and the X-Force. Well, Weapon X-Force series. So, yeah, when they take a hero... Now, previous villain is now a hero. And it's like, you know what? We want to stir this up. Let's completely erase all the stuff that we did and make them garbage again, which is exactly what they did as soon as the Mystique series ended with issue 24. She went right back to being a garbage human. Garbage mutant. I'm sure she would take umbrage at that particular phrase. But yeah, that's exactly what happened. Because right as soon as the Mystique series ended, she joined the Marauders. The hell?
X-Men continuity.
Pick up the Mystique series.
That's the one by Brian K. Vaughan and Sean McKeever, I think.
Right, the creator of Runaways. This was a series that came up during Marvel's Tsunami line.
Yes.
Which I really enjoy because the Sentinel. Remember the Sentinel?
Yes, really fun book.
That was a good book.
Man, there's another series from that line. It's not from the Tsunami line, but it's from around the same time. The Emma Frost solo book, which has really false advertising cheesecakey covers when it's really just a coming of age story about like a young mutant psychic and her like learning about her powers and how Emma Frost like made her ascension to White Queen.
The Emma Frost limited series was outstanding.
So good.
I loved it.
I
would even say it's even better than the Mystique book.
The picks they made for the covers are just so completely unrelated to what happens in the book. And it makes it so difficult to recommend to people. I'm like, no, just ignore the covers. Like, I wish that I could recommend this to like high school students, but I feel like it's like, well, looks like I'm just handing out smut.
Yeah, it really is. And it's some of her worst costumes.
Yeah.
Are painted covers.
It's the some random bar napkins thrown on her costume.
Yeah. I mean, you find out that one of my favorite facts is the fact that Emma Frost is a brunette. And that she's exceedingly smart, but living in the shadow of her much smarter and much more ambitious sister, who I think they killed off during Generation X, right around the time that Sync died.
Yeah.
Great series. I now I kind of want to go reread it, and
It's,
I highly recommend it.
It's all on Marvel Unlimited.
Yeah.
But anyways, we got
going back to the meat of this.
Powers of X.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing the development of Krakoa as a society where Charles and Eric are establishing a 12-person mutant council.
Yeah, and we're find out that the members of this are basically him, Magneto, Sebastian Shaw, and Emma Frost, and now we're like, what else we got?
I feel like Apocalypse is going to be there. Probably Betsy Braddock as the new Captain Britain.
A good call.
Mr. Sinister.
Yep. Exodus.
Yeah, good pick.
We could just pick like all the big mutants.
Scott, Jean, Storm, probably.
I wonder if they put like something weird in there, like, Nature Girl.
I think she might be a little young for the council, but
that would be like my Z-list choice.
We'll bring in Morph.
Yeah, we'll bring in Changeling. He's been alive this entire time,
as always.
God, he's been dead for a long time.
But hey, anyone can come back now.
That's true. Oh my God, they could bring Changeling back.
You can bring back.
My brain just exploded.
I was gonna say we can bring back Graydon Creed, but he wasn't a mutant. So
Graydon Creed is not a mutant and has already been brought back to life.
Oh, that's right. You were telling me about that.
Remember, the story is, and this is the ultimate redemption story, is that Sabretooth sacrifices his freedom to go and be in hell to save his son. And that's the reason why he loses his inversion.
Yeah.
Because hell just burns it out of him.
What a bad trade.
I know. And then the demon is like, I could just continue to torture you, but I think it'd be better off just to release you as you are right now into the world. Of course, then it got completely undone because this Powers of X, Homosex, turns him into a normal person.
Yeah.
Instead of just
a raving animal psychopath.
Which is what he was at the end of the book.
Yeah.
And I was really disappointed that that's where they were going to go with it. But anyway. Yeah.
And we also learn just how much bigger the scale of the X-1000 stuff is.
Oh,
because...
God.
Oh my God.
I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around it. I mean, I know what it is conceptually. I even have it here in front of me, just how big things are getting. And I honestly don't even think I could explain it in this podcast.
Yeah, I couldn't
how
either.
Big this is getting.
I'm not smart enough to put it into words. Like reading, I'm like, okay, I understand this. But if I tried to tell it to another person, I would be like,
yeah, you're trying to conceptualize of like, let's say 50,000 Unicrons.
Black hole's real big?
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? At this point, just read the book.
Yeah. I mean,
we can't even explain that because it's just too damn big.
Can't explain that.
Yeah. It's just too huge. But it deals in the technocracy and in clusters of technocracy and in the idea of societies as it goes beyond just even human comprehension. And my hat is off to Hickman, the fact that he can conceptualize what I just read.
Yeah. And the fact that he can get it into a mainstream comic book.
Yeah. Oh my God, my brain just melts thinking about it. So we got Apocalypse, easy in. God, who else could we throw into that council?
Goldballs deserves it. And
this actually would be a good thing for our listeners. If you're actually an X-Men fan, put in the comments below. Who do you think would be in the Council of 12, the Quiet Council of 12? This would be a great thing to do here.
And in other news, Sony and Marvel have come to an agreement.
Yes, indeed. So apparently Sony has come to its senses, realizing there's money to be printed.
And thank God I never see another stupid meme about Spider-Man being sad about his parents fighting. Because good God, I'm tired of that.
And Tom Holland, oh my God, his response to this. Have you seen his response?
The Leo GIF?
Yeah, which we can't even, it's not in a GIF. He put in the video from Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, he did the whole video.
He did the whole video of Wolf of Wall Street where he gets real quiet, goes, I'm not leaving. And he goes, I'm not effing leaving. This everybody starts losing their mind. I'm like, yeah. Tom Holland definitely pitch perfect with that one.
Happy for him. The thing I thought was interesting about the release, though, was Kevin Feige saying, well, Spider-Man's now the first hero to have the ability to travel through the multiverse. So who knows what could happen? Which I'm like, oh, I see what you're doing.
I see what you did there.
Easy out. Just in case. You got that emergency button ready to go.
It's like, I'm ready to just put you right in the back in a multiverse, you little arachnid.
And another thing I thought was fascinating is that Sony just accepted Disney's terms.
Yeah,
like,
flat out.
Unaltered, which a little disappointed by.
I saw it coming. And of course, I say that in fanboy, armchair, quarterback, the way of going about things. But Marvel did go as public as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Real dirty move.
And it was a dirty move. And I knew, me personally speaking, is okay, that's a dirty move. That will probably work. And it did.
I hate to pick an underdog in giant billion-dollar corporations, but I don't like seeing someone get steamrolled, and those terms are hella steamrolled.
I mean, we could go the xenophobic route and say, well, Sony came in and took Columbia Pictures. Now we're just punishing them.
God.
It's so petty. But I mean, it really comes down to it. It's just a license to create money, and the fan backlash on this whole thing was enough to do something.
Yeah, those all those stupid memes I saw, I guess did some good.
I mean,
rolling my eyes.
Honestly, I would be less likely to watch a Spider-Man movie if it wasn't in the MCU now.
I was genuinely I'd convinced myself to get very excited. I was like, oh, thank God I don't have to see another Spider-Man movie that gets derailed by how sad he is about Iron Man. And I
think we were at the end of that.
I hope so.
But I mean, you had to have, it just happened.
I was just really, really hyped for a purely Spider-Man movie that doesn't have to tie into anything else.
It did feel, the Spider-Man series right now, it does feel like it's dragging feet.
Yeah.
He's still in high school. It kind of feels like these are episodes in a TV series. They're just very large and very long. I mean, Rory at Spider-Man 3, and it feels like he's barely even left junior level high school.
It's a quibble I have of Spider-Man's not graduating. He's already gone to space. Drives me nuts.
Well, the fact they did bring that up.
You've
gone to space. Now shut up.
He's never fought Doc Ock. He's never fought the Green Goblin.
I know.
But he's gone to space.
But we did get J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah, that was great. And we talked about Far From Home before on an earlier episode and how I did not care for it. I did love J. Jonah Jameson.
That's actually something I forgot to write down in our little script about
Daily
stuff.
Bugle site's up.
The Daily Bugle site is up, and it's already got an episode of J. Jonah Jameson.
Frankly, we should just throw in the towel. We're not going to top JJ.
We really can't. We're going to put a link to the Daily Bugle down in our little blurb thing here, and man, go check it out, because if they make more episodes, awesome. I
know J.K. Simmons has been jazzed to dive back into the role for years, so I'm glad they're just giving him a platform to just have little nuggets of J. Jonah Jameson.
Like 2 years straight of J. Jonah Jameson screaming menace.
He probably just went into a recording booth for a weekend and knocked out a year's worth of content. I mean,
in the first episode alone, it took him a while to get to it, bumbling through all his words, but he eventually got to menace. Spider-Man is a menace. Mysterio, that's a real hero.
That I was like,
don't want to spoil the movie for you. Mysterio is a villain. Yeah. We couldn't have possibly seen that happen. He's been such a great hero in the Marvel universe. Yeah. I actually told that to somebody. I told him, it's like, oh yeah, Mysterio is a villain. Like, spoilers. I'm like, dude. It's like walking in and going, Doc Ock's a villain, and seeing everybody just freak out about it.
Harry Osborn's dad, he's a bad guy.
He's actually the Green Goblin.
What? No. What? But enough talking about Spider-Man nonsense.
Because we're going to go into some crap news. Hulu has canceled the Ghost Rider show
before it's even entered pre-production.
And we have some theories about this. This is part 2 of our Avengers talk.
Yes, going back to Avengers.
Avengers feels like to me like it's getting rid of Robbie Reyes, and I feel like somebody in the corporate world of Marvel going, we're doing a switch on Ghost Rider, but we're throwing our money behind Hulu and the Robbie Reyes version. We want to keep up to spar with this. And honestly, I love Robbie Reyes. I do. But Ghost Rider is a motorcycle hero.
But the Hell Charger cool, though.
Danny Ketch is the true Ghost Rider.
I haven't gotten my Robbie Reyes action figure with a Hell Charger.
That would be a great toy.
And stuff like this keeps getting in the way of it. But
I really think that in some maybe small way, and this is probably also the reason why the Blade series got sank so many years ago, is because their plans with Blade on the video market changed.
I have some thoughts of my own. Mm-hmm. So Kevin Feige a couple weeks ago mentioned in interviews like, yeah, I'd love to do something with Ghost Rider. And I feel like he looked and was like, oh, hey, TV's doing that because Marvel TV and Marvel Studios famously do not get along or communicate very well.
Yeah, our good friend Ike Perlmutter is running Marvel Television. This includes anything that's been on ABC, Hulu, Netflix. And that's and as of 2015, because of their in-house bickering, God, I hate Ike so much. We haven't had a proper crossover with Marvel Studios or TV property in 4 years.
And I will give Jeff Loeb credit for making lemonade out of what little lemons he gets thrown. Mm-hmm. Sure, we get garbage like Inhumans and Iron Fist, but I mean, Daredevil pretty good.
I love Daredevil.
Season 2 of Luke Cage is phenomenal.
Season 3 of Daredevil, best
excellent
bullseye origin I could possibly have thought of.
Yeah, like after Luke Cage season 2 wrapped, was like, this is my new favorite MCU TV season. And then Daredevil season 3 came out. I was like, well, damn, that was quick.
I feel bad that the very last of the Netflix shows was Jessica Jones. And spoiler alert, we end up incarcerating her best friend in the last episode.
Oh, I haven't actually.
And then that's it.
I actually haven't seen season 3 yet.
Well, that's what you got to look forward to.
I already wasn't super jazzed about its treatment of Patsy Walker in season 2.
I wasn't thrilled with a lot of things on it, but Patsy Walker, when she killed Jessica Jones' mom, another spoiler, that's what they went with. That's the ball they ran the full court on. Is that do they run courts? Do they run fields? I don't know sports.
I've heard that they do go hard in the paint.
Yeah,
I know that much.
It's good. It's not season 1 good.
Yeah,
but it's better than season 2.
Okay, I liked season 2, so I just had issues with Patsy's art because I am a big Hellcat fan.
Well, she wears the Hellcat outfit.
I saw that and I was like, oh, that's pretty fun.
It was brief. They teased it just like they teased us with no Daredevil costume whatsoever in season 3.
Yeah, no Bullseye costume.
Yeah, I was hurt by both of these.
I'm never going to get a live action, even though they used their one F-bomb limit in the Daredevil movie to have a Bullseye ask for a costume, and then they didn't do it.
Bastards.
And I'm an ardent supporter of the Daredevil movie. The director's cut is generally one of my favorite superhero movies.
Quick things, since we're kind of getting down to the wire.
That's true.
Here. A couple of books did get retitled from Marvel. One being Fear the Ghost Rider is now just straight Ghost Rider, like we were talking about earlier. Also, Marvel Zombies Respawn has been retitled Marvel Zombies Resurrected.
Which
I understand why.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sick of Marvel Zombies, but
it's the cash cow that keeps on giving.
I think it's funny that DC does Deceased and does Gangbusters, and then Marvel's like, oh, don't we have an idea like that?
Yeah, but let's go back there and make another Marvel Zombies, like Series 7.
What I do think is interesting is it's the first time we are seeing zombie heroes since the Disney purchase, because I distinctly remember back during Secret Wars, they brought the Marvel Zombie characters back, but only villains.
Yeah.
And the only Marvel Zombies title that came out during that time period was Marvel Zombies Supreme, which was Squadron Supreme characters.
So you think there was actually
there was an edict on high to not have zombie heroes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm really surprised by that.
Yeah, I mean, they wanted to keep the IP family friendly, and they didn't want to have a kid getting a zombie Captain America
pretty
figure.
Gory. If you guys have ever read Marvel Zombies, it is really, really awful.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying awful as in the quality. I'm saying awful as in like missing arms, missing legs.
Yeah.
People eating their supporting characters.
The visual that always stuck with me from Marvel Zombies Return, which is where I bounced off the book, because at that point I just thought it just got unpleasant, was Spider-Man shooting his webs and his veins coming out instead.
Sorry, that's actually kind of funny.
I was like, that's just so gross. It's just, it gave me such a visceral reaction. And like, I'm a huge horror movie nut. Like I can deal with some gore, but just,
that was excessive.
Yeah.
That's your I mean, I've got my own thing. I don't like anything dealing with like fingernails. I don't like the whole needles into the fingernails routine that they put.
I don't like fake hair. And I don't like Spider-Man shooting out his veins.
All right. Well, we got one more thing we want to hit on, and we want to talk about Sony. Apparently, is running out of ideas in this whole Spider-Man thing. Has decided they want to make a movie out of Madam Web.
The role Joan Lee made famous.
Yeah, let me tell you. Let me tell you what Madam Web does.
To me, my Spider-Man.
There's going to be 2 hours of this. I hope you got a lot of material. Madam Web, if you don't know, is the seer type in Spider-Man. She's part of the whole spider totem thing, but she's blind and she's got exceeding the elderly.
A cool web chair.
And she sits there.
Yeah.
That's it.
She is one of the focuses of Nothing Can Stop the Juggernaut, arguably the best Spider-Man story of all time.
I mean, she's great as a supporting character, but if you're going to make a movie out of her, you better have the greatest Madam Web hook of all time.
I was like, and I feel like we already got that in the 90s cartoon, which again, like featured Stan Lee's wife, Joan Lee, who really brought that character to life. Like, I thought Madam Web was awesome as a kid. And then I was very disappointed that she's not nearly as important in the comics as she was on that show.
Oh my God.
Because like, she wasn't even really around that much in 90s comics.
Not really. But she was just basically a unit of exposition, or I need to bring all the heroes in. She's the D&D wizard in the tavern.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
But again, in that small role, I don't know how you could weave a solo movie out that. They did a couple years ago have Julia Carpenter become the new Madam Web. And
she was blind, but mobile.
Yes. They blinded her, and she got a cool... very cool little Wonder Man outfit with like the red jacket and the shades.
That didn't last long.
No, did they kill Julia off?
No, she's still around. She's Arachne.
Okay, she's back to that. I know her daughter was Arachne.
No, you're confusing.
I'm thinking of Aranya.
Yeah, Aranya, who's now Spider-Girl.
Yes, man.
And she's actually one of the few people that kept her powers during the Spider Island event. Yeah, that's how they got that.
Okay,
because for a while Spider-Girl had no powers whatsoever.
Yeah.
I thought, and then that's the time they make a book out of her. It's like, well, we got this Spider-Girl. So we're not doing anything with her. Yeah, let's wait until she has no powers.
She was in Avengers Academy for a while. Yeah,
yeah. And then, let's do that. God, it didn't sell well.
It's not a great place. Back then it was not a great place to be an ancillary Spider-Man character in this post Spider-Verse world. And especially when we've got the seasonal model for the supporting Spider-Man books, with Friendly Neighborhood and Superior ending in a couple months, I think we got a place for Aranya.
You know what? I've got this one talking point, but I feel like if we step into it, it's just going to get too deep. And that's the upcoming inevitable demise of Marvel Television.
Yeah,
under Ike Perlmutter
with Disney Plus. I think we can wrap this up pretty succinctly.
Yeah.
With Disney Plus moving Marvel Studios' focus onto TV shows, it's just like it's unnecessary.
You got Kevin Feige's running Marvel Studios. He's got a far larger budget for his television projects he's going to be doing with Disney Plus. But you still got these other shows that Ike is doing. Yeah. Now, granted, I love Runaways. I love Cloak and Dagger. I love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't like the fact that they're almost completely separated from the Marvel Universe because of their petty little in-house bickering. And with the demise of Ghost Rider, and more than likely, most likely, the upcoming demise of Hellstrom.
If I lose my Disney Son of Satan joke over this, I'm going to be furious.
I think it's inevitable. I'm willing to bet money at this point that Hellstrom is doomed. Just like all the Hulu titles. I mean, all the Netflix titles were doomed.
I'll always have Warren Ellis's way too adult to be reprinted Hellstorm series.
But again, if that happens, that means we're probably going to have an MCU Ghost Rider, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, fair. Yeah. Let's since we we're not going to top Endgame for big classical superhero action. Let's shift our focus to the spooky stuff.
Yeah.
Get me a Werewolf by Night movie.
Here's my opinion. I'm sure this opinion is shared with many people that pay attention to Marvel Industries. If you can find a way to fire Ike Perlmutter, do it. Do it. Do it 10 years ago. Fire him. And that's all I got to say about that.
One last point before we go out.
Okay.
They showed off Brandon Routh's Superman suit for Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Oh, yes.
It is the best looking live action Superman suit.
Yes.
It's gorgeous.
And he's playing the
Kingdom Come Superman.
Kingdom Come Superman with the black and red logo.
Yes.
And he looks awesome.
It's my favorite Superman logo. I love how sleek and simple
and to show
it is.
awesome, Rob's going to give us a picture of Brandon Routh as Kingdom Come Superman. He's nodding. What a great guy. All right, so we're going to make that happen. Look how awesome that looks. That's good stuff right there.
And with just me gushing about how much I love Superman, I think we'll call it.
Yeah, we will. Now, again, new podcast. We need your help. We need your support. We need everything you can possibly give us. Likes. Dislikes. We don't want dislikes. We definitely don't want dislikes.
I mean,
we would like you to get in on our Patreon thing, because Patreon funds all the stuff we got going on here. I mean, we can only really go into Rob's bank account as deeply as we are right now. So if you want to help us out financially and see all of our B-list and D-list real stuff, because we're definitely going to be doing that, hook into our Patreon. Also, if you want to see us talk about maybe a special show that you want to do on a particular subject that deals in comic books, let us know in the comments below. And be sure to hit the bell, and we'll let you know when the new episode shows up.
And maybe we'll even dive into the stuff that we read every week that we don't get to talk about. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Justice League Dark here with this amazing Detective Chimp cover.
Detective Chimp. Now, see, I can get on board with some Detective Chimp because I loved me some Shadow Pact. But anyway, that's it for us. We'll see you next week.